This community update was brought to you by U-Radio. A fatal police shooting has reignited the debate over Winnipeg police wearing body-worn cameras. Christopher J. Schneider, a sociology professor at Brandon University and author of Policing and Social Media, Social Control in an Era of Digital Media, doesn't believe this will increase trust or confidence in the police. The recent incident, captured on video by a bystander and shared online, shows two Winnipeg Police Service officers shooting 24-year-old Jordan Charlie, a man from Nunavut. The shooting occurred after Charlie allegedly stabbed an officer in the throat. The incident is now under investigation by Manitoba's police watchdog, the Independent Investigation Unit. Body-worn cameras are often seen as tools to enhance police accountability and transparency. However, Professor Schneider points out their effectiveness remains inconsistent according to research.
So the scientific research literature has tested body-worn cameras largely for one of two things. One, does the presence of body-worn cameras reduce the likelihood of police use of force? And two, does the presence of body-worn cameras reduce civilian complaints about police? And the answer is sometimes both of these things go down, which is of course good and what we all want to see. In other circumstances, there's no difference between officers with cameras and those without. And in some circumstances, evidence has shown that police use of force goes up with body-worn cameras. So essentially what this suggests is the research literature regarding the efficacy of body-worn cameras is inconsistent.
Professor Schneider also challenges the claims that body-worn cameras increase transparency and accountability.
Transparency is characterized by visibility, that is, our ability to see body-worn camera footage. Body-worn cameras in Canada are actually much less, if at all, transparent in terms of their public visibility than, say, our American counterparts. So Canadians, their expectations, I think, largely align and incorrectly with what we have seen coming out of the United States. So the United States, of course, has 50 states, different jurisdictions, policies, and laws that allow police under a variety of circumstances to release body-worn camera footage. You will find it regularly on the internet. It's on YouTube. Indeed, it's the stuff of nightly newscasts in the United States. However, in Canada, the privacy legislation is federal and it's very strict, and it largely prohibits police agencies from releasing body-worn camera footage in a Canadian context, which means that Canadians can expect to not see body-worn camera footage in a Canadian context. And what that says about, I think, transparency is problematic, right?
U Multicultural reached out to the Winnipeg Police Service for comment. In an email response, they stated, "Our position on body cameras has not changed." The response included an administrative report from June 2021, which the Winnipeg Police Service proposed to the City Council to implement body-worn cameras and a digital evidence management system to enhance police accountability and transparency. Following the shooting, Acting Winnipeg Police Chief Art Stannard addressed the public, urging caution regarding bystander videos. He said, "We are aware of videos online, and we caution the public that they do not show the entire incident." However, Schneider says bystander video is a vital tool in police accountability.
Third-party recordings from different angles around, the incident, we can piece all that together and get a better sense of what it is that happened, which I think contributes to increased transparency. So I think it's interesting when these, surveillance or bystander recordings rather, police incidents go online. Police administrators, like in Winnipeg, will say things like, it only shows a small portion of the event. It's not the whole circumstance of the event. This is why we need body-worn camera footage. Indeed, police administrators around the world have been saying this for years after numerous videos have gone up, like George Floyd that you mentioned and others. But this is interesting because the inverse is when we look at body-worn cameras, they're also incomplete depictions, and they always will be, much like bystander recorded footage, because the cameras are not recording all the time, and they're switched on and off at the discretion of police officers.
Schneider also raises concerns about police officers being allowed to review body camera footage before providing statements, a practice he says creates an unfair advantage.
When there's an incident and it involves an officer and a member of the public, and say, for example, the member of the public believes that they've experienced police brutality or believes that they've seen police misconduct, the member of the public in that circumstance, must file a access to information request to get their own body-worn camera footage. This can be subject to months of delay or longer. All the while, as was confirmed by the RCMP and other police services allow this as well, the responding officer in that situation is allowed to review their body-worn camera footage. This practice has been criticized by organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union as far back as 2015 because the ACLU claims that this allows police to lie and this allows police to get their narrative and their story straight. In other words, it gives police an advantage if the body-worn camera footage ever does make it into the courtroom. The police have already seen it, the officers already seen it, and they create a story around the body-worn camera footage.
The Winnipeg Police Service has faced a decade of obstacles in implementing body-worn cameras, including funding shortages and technological limitations. In 2016, a $1 million pilot project was abandoned due to unsustainable storage costs. Advances in Canadian-based cloud solutions now make implementation more feasible. But questions remain about the effectiveness of the technology and its alignment with community needs. For Schneider, the debate over body-worn cameras shouldn't be about technology, but the broader issues of trust, transparency, and systemic change. U-Multicultural reached out to the Winnipeg Police Service for comment. In an email response, they stated, "Our position on body cameras has not changed." The response included an administrative report from June 2021, which the Winnipeg Police Service proposed to the City Council to implement body-worn cameras and a digital evidence management system to enhance police accountability and transparency. Professor Schneider would like to see the Winnipeg Police Service speak to the criticisms, and discussions about policing, accountability, and public trust must continue. You're listening to U Radio, where diverse voices connect. Stay tuned for more stories and insights that matter. With U-Multicultural and the Local Journalism Initiative, I'm Ryan Funk.